Well, hello there. I'm Roy Cohen, and today I am the host for the Community Forum Show, and very pleased to have on as my guest a very quiet member of the Board of Selectmen, David Spanky Sousa. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you on. You'll notice that the both of us are sitting here properly with ties on and everything else, and Spanky honors me by wearing one.
That is true.
Doesn't wear one anyplace else, but when it comes on the show, he listens to me, and the result is you have two very handsome-looking guys on the show today.
One, just you.
Just you. You're included.
No.
I think that we have a few items to talk about, which I think will kind of shock you maybe, or maybe just enlighten your knowledge of what's going on in town. But the first and most important question that I wanted to ask the Selectman Sousa, is what is with Yabba Dabba Doo? There's got to be a story behind the story with that.
I actually love the Flintstones. I actually have a tattoo I got about a month ago of Fred Flintstone. I will show you later on the bottom of my leg.
Okay.
I've always loved Fred Flintstone as a kid, and the movie came out and I saw the plates. I'm like, I gotta have them. So one plate says Yabba DQ and the other one says Yabba Doo.
You have both?
I have both. If you look at it quick, the Q looks like an O.
Right.
And the police sometimes is like, you got to stop switching your plates from car to car. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, the Yabba Doo. I'm like, it's two different plates. One's Yabba Doo and one's Yabba DQ. And they're like, oh yeah. And they've actually brought them to the station and showed them, like, look, two different plates. And they're like, wow. So, but if you look at them quick, they look like exact identical plates.
Well, that kind of fulfills the empty space that I had within my knowledge. I was always wondering about that. You carry it beyond the license plate to your email?
My email, it's Spanky Yabba Doo. I got cookie jars at home with Flintstones. I have an old English bulldog that the kids named Flintstone. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's great. All right, now for some interesting discussion. There's several things that are going on in town, and me as an outsider looking in, used to be on the inside looking out.
Yeah, you know what it's like. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're going through, and why don't we start off by talking about the situation with the town manager, which seems to be a very controversial picture. I noticed that when Chief Chastity was up before the board, or his resignation was before the board, the room was full of people. I only remember that happening maybe 30 years ago when we talked about Alex's or the bookstore and what to do about then. The room filled up with people. So I know exactly what you guys were going through, but what's going on with the town manager? Is he doing his job? Is he the right man for the job? I'm going to listen to you.
Well, my opinion, he's an intelligent man. I could not take away of his intelligence. He's a very smart man. He does know his stuff. He has no people skills. He does not communicate with us.
Interpersonal relationship skills with missing.
Yes, extremely. Me personally, I can only speak for myself. He needs to be sent on his way. I've said that publicly hundreds of times already. He's not the right fit for this town. As I call them, the special people of the shadow government. They control him. There's certain people that were members of the Board of Selectmen. They're on other committees. And like I say, this shadow government, they control town meeting floor. They control the FinCom. They control, I should say, those two are the main ones they control. Everything else, they're on every single board. They're on the Board of Selectmen. They're on the Finance Committee. They're on the Zoning Board, Planning Board. They have their soldiers everywhere. So if one of them can't make it, their soldiers come up. There's about 35,000 residents in the town of Stoughton. 2,000 of the special meter, the shadow government, they're the ones who vote, the 2,000. And I said it before on the Dave Young and Paul Smith show, kudos to them because they're intelligent. They're smart people because they have their plants everywhere. They're like, I hate to say it, they're like the terrorists. They have their seeds planted everywhere. And it's a bad thing. It really is a bad thing. It's bad for the country with the terrorists, and it's bad with these people. They plot everywhere. And it's a shame to see how the town's allowed to doing this. He needs to go. He has the town manager has his disciples. I'd say good 4 or 5 need to go be terminated with the town manager, and the rest of the disciples will calm down or leave on their own.
What do you mean by disciples?
Certain employees privileged to certain things. They have a thing now, I guess, called flex time, that they just come in for an hour or so and they leave and don't worry about it. If your job gets done, it gets done. Only certain people allowed to do that. If you ask him about the flex time, he says he doesn't know, no idea what I'm talking about. About a year and a half ago, he told residents, not the residents, he told the employees at a department head meeting not to talk to any member of the Board of Selectmen. I confronted him on that. He said it was not true. I talked to a few department heads, and they says it's true, but I will not say it because I'm afraid of my job. If you saw the meeting, as you said, the big meeting at the town hall, our residents, police, fire, DPW, and now the teachers have come up and spoken, a vote of no confidence. I'm the one, like I said, the only one that spoke up to, pay him on his way, shake his hand, thank you on his way, pay him on his way, but the rest of the board did it. I don't know if, like I said, I thought the town manager worked for us, not us for the town manager. And I think he looks at us, we're paying for him. We're paying the butt in plain English. He doesn't want us there. And like I said, he's being controlled by the shadow government of the special people and vice versa. They work hand in hand with each other.
How did that happen all of a sudden? I mean, he's been there, what, a couple of years?
4.5 years. He was
been there that long?
He was hired, and a former member of the Board of Selectmen was on the show with me a few weeks ago here. Perfect example. He had this letter that, an email, it came from the town manager, was approved by town council, he said. Went to the department heads, which I never received one, but he was going to read it. It was going to come out in a couple of weeks. So he had a letter that the department heads got, and no one else was supposed to get it, but yet he had this letter. So people wonder why I raise my voice and I get mad. They say I'm a bully. I speak loud, Roy. You've known me since I was a kid. I'm a big kid. I've always been big. I speak very loud. So they say I'm threatening people. I'm being a bully. This is who I am. I'm passionate for my town that I grew up in. I says, these people they want to be Dover. They want to be Norwood. They want to be Sharon. They want to be Canton. Listen, we're a blue-collar town. Mm-hmm. And I says, I'm proud to be a blue-collar town. But I want to be Stoughton. I don't want to be anybody else. When I graduated from Stoughton High 30 years ago, class of 85, we were the Black Knights. And we still are the Black Knights. Graduated at 17 years old, I didn't know what a Black Knight meant. He says, figure the Knights, that's our symbol, this and that. The Hull Pirates, the Brockton Boxers, you look around. And as I got older, I realized I'm a kid now, and I says, now I know what it means to be a knight. We protect and serve. We protect the people. So I want to be the Robin Hood, as I say, of the people. Take from the rich and give to the poor, but I don't like how this shadow government is trying to control everything. They want me out of the Board of Selectmen. I know they despise me. People call my cell phone all the time. I go to residents' houses. I go see what the residents' problems are. I do a lot of things for the town. People say, oh, you don't do nothing. I do 40 to 75 hours a week for the town of Stoughton that I get nothing for, and I'm not upset. Just past Tuesday, I went to a wake at Farley's. We had 2 wakes, a Portuguese gentleman and former fire chief's wife, Mrs. Roach. They were our neighbors since we were kids. So my dad came down, we went to both wakes, and I was on the Portuguese side first. After I paid up my respects, I had about a half an hour of complaints about things going on in the town. Went over to the Roach's side, paid my respects again, came outside, once again another half an hour. Came back in the hallway, more people stopped me. Went over to go see my Uncle Joe at the Copley, at the nursing home there, see how he was doing all that. Went to go in and sign in and everything else, and everybody, same thing, they had some concerns. If they could address my concerns, I said, sure. I was there for about 10 minutes in the lobby. They got on the elevator. My father's like, is this what your life has turned into? The people are constantly talking to you, but they seem very happy with you. I says, Dad, I says, as you know, my mom passed away about a year and a half ago. My mother loved this town as much as I love this town. She came to this country. She lived in Stoughton for 25 years, and she lived in Hull for 29 years. But she always called Stoughton home. She never called Hull home. Stoughton was always her home. Hull was our summer house and never home. She called Stoughton home. Prior to her passing, she knew she was passing. She told my father and myself and my brothers that she does not want to stay in Hull. She wants to come home to Stoughton. We respected her wishes. She's in Stoughton at the Evergreen Cemetery. Not the way we wanted her to be back home, but she is home in Stoughton where she calls home. Mm-hmm. And I told her before she passed away, she told me I was crazy to do this. And if I knew what I knew today, I would have not been in the position I am in today. I wish I really did listen to her. But like I told her, I have the same passion as she does for this town. This is a great town. It was a real great town years ago when I grew up. We didn't have to lock our doors and everything else. Now times have changed and everything else. Now they want this town manager. They come in and, like I says, the shadow government again. We bought McNamara Farms. We bought Glen Echo, the Cape and Farms. Listen, if you want green space and you want to be a tree hugger, all the power to you. I don't really care. If you want to keep the green space, good. Keep Glen Echo. They say they want to build a park at Glen Echo. They're going to do this. Same thing. They're going to build soccer fields at McNamara Farms. None of these things are happening. It's just green space. And you know what? If you want green space, I'm okay with the green space. But, they want to build parks. Oh, we want to do this. We want to do this. We're going to do this.
So what are they doing about it?
Well, right now we're not doing nothing. But if they want to build a park at Glen Echo, and if they want to build soccer fields and baseball fields at McNamara Farms, we're going to need DPW to maintain them, both areas. So we need more manpower. We're going to need more police to patrol them. And we're going to need more fire to protect all these areas.
You need money to build them.
We need money to build them. But, town meeting, like I says, the shadow government controls the town meeting. They passed last year $350,000 for a dog park under high tension wires. Why would you put a dog park under high tension wires?
A dog park?
A dog park.
Okay.
But they passed it. Why do you want these things? Like I says, if you want the green space, all the power to you. They're lying to the residents, I think, and I see it. Just say, listen, we want green space. We don't want any more 40Bs. We want, trails that we can walk in, or if somebody can ride a mini bike in. But don't tell people, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. They say they're going to build something at Glen Echo for only 6 or 7 cars. What's 6 or 7 cars going to do? It's not going to hold people. Rent it, sell the land, or if you don't want to sell it, rent it to somebody. Make it a resort or something. I put a thing on Facebook the other day. There's a place up in the Springfield area, I think. They have zip lines through the woods that turn into an outdoor
park.
Yeah, an outdoor park. It's wild. It shows a video on Facebook and everything else. Why don't we do something like that up there? Why don't they rent canoes, paddle boats? The water, if you go up there, is crystal clear. I actually went up there last summer, probably for the second time in my whole life. I went there years ago. Probably when I was a freshman, 81, 82, a friend of ours passed away up there. She had epilepsy and she drowned. So I never knew what Glen Echo was. We went up there once, and I went again this year. Well, last year with my wife and my kids, because my wife had never been there. My kids had never even heard of it. And there was kids up there, partying, drinking, having a fire. But I think it's a campsite. People can see it. But if not, the people coming in, there's cars there, so they got to walk in the path and all that. So how come we don't have patrolmen up there watching this? How do you get a brush truck up there? There's none of this stuff, The kids are partying, at least they put out the fire. They're like, you're going to call the cops, mister. I'm like, I'm not here to call the cops. It says, don't let it get out of control. You're near the water. Keep a bucket there, put the fire out. Drink your beers, kid. I'm not here to bother none of you guys. Drink your beers, pick up your trash. Don't litter this place. It's a beautiful place. And they're like, oh, you seem pretty decent. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to teach my kids morals, which my parents gave to me. So, like I says, is it time for the town manager to go? Yes.
What are some of the things that these people who are cornering you, what are they talking about? What are their concerns?
The residents?
Yeah. When you said you were at the funeral home, they get you for a half hour here and a half hour there.
They're talking about the school. They're talking about the town manager. They're talking about our police chief. They're wondering why, our superintendent has left. Our police chief has left. We had an acting deputy chief who went to chief. He stepped back for personal reasons. That's what we were told. But the question is, were they really personal reasons? I don't know. It's none of my business to ask them. I don't run the day-to-day operations of the town. But one thing that people don't know is the Board of Health. Our Board of Health agent left in the middle of summer. Before she left, I went to go talk to her. I asked her, can I ask why you're leaving? And she said it was due to the management of the town. The town manager and the human resource who bully a lot of the people. And like I said, there's more than, I see there's 2 or 3 in the town hall besides those 3 that cause a lot of problems. I see it. I know a lot of other people have to see it. But as I said, police, fire, DPW, and the teachers come up and stood up for a vote of no confidence. But you don't see any of the town employees voting in no confidence, the secretaries in the town hall, anybody in the town hall, because they fear their job.
So what happens now with the votes of no confidence?
Nothing. I made a motion, and none of the members of the Board of Selectmen. We have an upcoming election coming up right now. The 2 people that are on the ballot, one I've known for 40 years, played hockey with him. Great person. The other one was my teacher at 5th grade. I don't think they're the right fit for the town government anymore. Political views are different. People might agree with their views, and I guess I can agree to disagree. And a lot of people don't like my views. But I'm actually the write-in candidate. I ask everybody to write in Peter Brown, and I'm going to tell you why. When I first got on the board, I was running a couple of years ago. I came onto the show nervous, very nervous. I was afraid to talk to any of these shows. Didn't know how to talk in front of the TV. I'm not politically correct. I'm not polished. I know that. I told the people, hey, listen, what you see is what you get. I thank them, still to this day, I thank them for believing in me and put me in. I was at the West School yesterday. They had something with the gas company, Columbia Gas, for the residents. And I was there, and they're like, why are you here? I'm like, I'm here for the residents. And somebody says, Selectman Sousa. I says, no, I'm not Selectman Sousa. I say, I am Selectman Sousa, but are you a resident of the town? They said, yes. I says, this title belongs to the residents, it belongs to the businesses, and it belongs to the employees. And this goes from the White House all the way down to small-time government. When I first got on, what's your agenda? You know, where are you going to go with this? What's your political views? You know, what are you trying to get out of this? And I was like, what? I didn't understand none of this. I'm like, what do you mean agenda and this and that? And now being on almost 2 complete years, I see what it's about. I haven't changed my ways. I go knock on people's doors. They have concerns. They call my cell phone. My cell phone's on the town webpage. I give my cards on my personal cell phone on, my personal email. I go knock on the people's doors. They have a question, you know, the plowed up my grass by mistake. You know, it happens. You know, if it's a lot of snow or things happen, or this is broken, they tore up the fence, or, you know, what's going on, we have concerns. One lady one time, her and her husband watched me on TV. They called, they're like, we'd like to meet you. Okay, where do you live? I live here. Okay, I'll make it, how about Saturday morning, come over for coffee. They said, you'll come down. They were shocked. They said, they've never had a selectman show up at the house. Like, you call and you come. I'm like, we are the representative of the people. I don't know if it's certain members of the board want the people to bow to them like we're a god or something. That's just my opinion. Like I says,
Yeah.
I bow to the people. I represent the people. I work for the people. This past Monday we had a meeting that I had tried to postpone.
Who's we? The selectmen?
The selectmen. We had a roundtable meeting.
Is that a special meeting?
It's a special meeting. Basically, we can have anybody come in, but just to discuss what's going on, like, you know, Sonic or this, or, you know, this talk about Dairy Queen. Is it kind of true? What's going on with buildings in town? Hey, Cumberland Farms, how Cumberland Farms came out. Now, Mobile's almost done, so talk about Mobile. Talk about the new Cumberland Farms up across the street from Target. They're going to do that one over. Just things to get people up and informed and everything else. As you guys know, I work for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the old Turnpike Authority, Mass DOT now. Sunday morning, I got called in due to the threat of the major snowstorm. They canceled school, but it was no major snowstorm. But we had a couple inches there. I got called in for snow and ice. Snow and ice is mandatory. We sign a paper every year. If we don't answer our phones or get a hold of them, or we know when it's snowing, we have to call in because we can be terminated. Like I says, I volunteer 40 to 75 hours free for the town of Stoughton.
Weekly?
Well, weekly.
Wow.
It doesn't go less than 40. And I don't complain about that. I love talking to the residents. I love talking to the businesses. I love talking to the employees. It's a great feeling that you can try to help people. But so I tried to cancel the meeting. And a certain member of the Board of Selectmen sent me an email saying, I'm taking my overtime over the people. I'd rather take money instead of dealing with the residents. That is not true. In 2 years, I've lost $30,000 in overtime. And if you don't believe me, ask my wife. I turn down early starts to come in early. I can go in at 5 o'clock during the week, so we're from 5 in the p.m. till 7 a.m. 7 a.m. So I'm losing a lot of overtime. We go to retirement parties. We go to Eagle Scout. We go to a lot of things.
Sure.
As you've been on the board, you see,
yeah.
like, you got to pay for dry cleaning. That comes all out of our pocket. So we spend some serious money.
How much do you get paid for being a selectman?
Nothing. We get nothing. And a lot of people thought we get money. We get nothing.
No.
But
This email that was sent to you, was it from the chairman?
it was not from the chairman. It was another 2 members of the Board of Selectmen that both of them are attorneys. One of them is a partner in I think over 200 lawyers. Came from that individual selectman. He said I should resign because I don't want to represent the people. I think they want me to resign because they're afraid of me. I'm sticking up for the people. I think, like it says,
What gives them the right to send you an email asking you to resign? Who are they? They're not even the chair. They're just a member like you are.
well, even the chair is still a member of the Board of Selectmen. The chair
Correct.
just controls the meeting.
Yeah.
And like I will tell you, like I've told everybody else, I didn't take this position for an ego. I didn't take it for a title. I didn't take it for a financial gain, personally, or for my family. I think I can actually help the town. And like I says, I'm very passionate. Like I says, I'm loud, but I think that's why I scare people. But when people get to know me, they're like, oh my God, you just love this town. I'm like, I really do. Like I says, the shadow government, I call them the special people, they're afraid of me. And like I says, in the past, if you go to town meeting, like you've been there, you know what it's like. If it's a $2 million thing, you're like, yep, okay, boom, 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 pass. No questions asked. And then you want something like, say, a piece of equipment that costs $30,000. They argued for 2 or 3 hours. Mm-hmm. I was there my first year. They were talking about a massage parlor to give massages. And at the time, I used to have a membership at Massage Envy in Brockton for monthly massages because my body working on the cold for years and beating my body like a machine. My chiropractor says you got to go get a massage at least once a month. So my wife gave me that massage for Christmas one year, her present, and then I was going monthly. Sometimes I couldn't go monthly. I'd go once every 2 months for a couple hours. And they came in, they were talking about a massage parlor. These people come in and talk to them at the town meeting, talking about a massage parlor, and they said the only place they could have it was the adult district, which is the old building across from
Police station.
Or the old Cochrane Shoe. So this went on for about 2.5 hours or so talking
What about, there was another spot up in North Stoughton, if I remember correctly.
That could be, I don't remember that. I just know those were the 2 main ones at the time. They were talking about the massage parlor.
Why? I mean, that's not adult entertainment.
Well, that's what I figured. I know Rhode Island, they have happy ending massage parlors. That's my understanding.
Right.
So I'm like talking, I leaned over to, I don't remember if it was Mr. Mercupro or Mr. McCrisky at the time. Can't remember which one it was. I'm like, is this like for a happy ending one? Or is this like a regular massage parlor? They're like, oh, it's a regular massage parlor. I'm like, so like massage engineer? He goes, yeah. So I'm like, they've been talking about this for 2.5 hours for just a regular massage parlor, which you can put in Shaw's Plaza, Stop and Shop Plaza, downtown Stoughton Center, up near Target. You could put it anywhere in town.
Sure.
So why did you talk 2.5 hours for a massage parlor? Well, yeah, you just had $2 million passed for, remember, no questions asked. This is what I don't understand. And like I says, the shadow government, they control the town meeting. If you saw the penny saver yesterday, there was a lot of ads, members of people running for the Board of Selectmen. Mm-hmm. Couple members, you can read the names on the penny saver. The special people, the shadow government. I'd like to know if that's the president or the vice president. That's my biggest concern. Who's the president or vice president? Or is one just a president or vice president or a treasurer?
Do they follow the open meeting law?
I don't know if they I don't, like it says, I don't care about that. They talked about Mr. Recupero being a class act person. I agree with them. TJ Recupero is a class act. I've known TJ Recupero for 40 years. I played hockey with TJ Recupero. When I first got in, I wanted TJ Recupero to be the chairman. I knew where he stood. I know he was a straight shooter. It was a great thing. He told me straight out. He says he wished me luck running on the election. I said, well, thank you. I have a big, race to fight because at the time I was going against Mr. Anzavino, who was 6 years on the board, great selectman, and then I go against Mr. McCrisky, 13 years on the board, another great selectman. They both knew this stuff as yourself. You guys been there, you know how the system works. I'm not a selectman, I'm a truck driver. Proud to be a truck driver. So I asked people to give me a chance, and they did. So I'm trying to live up to my commitment to the residents. But Mr. Recupero says, well, if I get in, I want to make you chairman. Mr. Recupero says, I do not want to be chairman. And I says, why not? He says, I don't want it. It's just a lot of work. I said, you know what, but you'd be a good guy for it because you're calm, you're this and that. I'd love to see you chairman. He goes, you know what? I'll take it because if I take it, the past year that I was on the board, his first year, he was left in the dark. The prior chair of the Board of Selectmen and the town manager left him in the dark. They never told him nothing. He goes, I won't let you guys be like that. Well, like, hey, great, that's good, because I said, I need a lot of help because I have no clue how to do this. Like I said, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a businessman. I'm a truck driver. As you said, I don't wear shirts and ties. I wear pullovers. Unless just for you. I wear this for you. I wear T-shirts. I wear, hoodies. I wear work boots. So I'm a working class guy with this town. We're a blue collar worker. So, and when he told me, I won't let you in the black and leave you in the dark, it was great. I was like, okay, now we're getting information. All of a sudden, he starts dating the selectman's secretary. He votes for the past 2 years of $19,000 worth of raises in 2 years for the secretary. He now thinks the town manager is best invention since sliced bread, and now we're left in the dark. So, as the saying goes, has he drinking the Kool-Aid? I will not drink the Kool-Aid. I can't be bought. I won't be bought. We had a discussion the other day, excuse me here. we had a discussion about, I was asking questions about the school, and I was on Dave Young and Paul Smith's show for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, we were talking about that, and they asked me about the school. We do need the school, and I'm in favor for the school. I did a clip the other day supporting the school. I want a school, but when you have residents coming up to you, you know, asking questions, and you call the people and say, hey, what's going on? Don't worry about it, just vote for it. It's a good thing for Stoughton. I understand that, but you have to ask what's good for Stoughton. We have seniors that can't afford it. So do I put a little bit more money on me? I don't mind paying a little bit more money. Our seniors have to worry about paying their rent, their food, or their medical bills, or their prescriptions and all that.
Right.
So do we set just a short amount of limit for the seniors and put more on young people like me who are still working? Like I said, you're retired, you know what it's like, Roy, it's tough out there. You gotta pay payments and everything else. I mean, I work paycheck to paycheck, and I gotta work, like I said, all my crazy hours that I do to support my family. If I can get an overtime shift on a Friday night or a Saturday night, I go in.
Of course.
So, I mean, like I said, everybody tries to make ends meet. So, like I said, I'm not an attorney. I don't own my own firm. I'm not a partner in a firm. I don't own a company. I work for a company. I have bosses. So, like I says, what do? Do they drink the Kool-Aid? Like I says, Mr. Recupero is a class act guy. His family, good reputation. Like I says, I've known them, great people. So to say that, especially like I says, the shadow government people put this ad in the paper, he's a great man. Everybody knows he's a great man. You can't deny that. And if anybody talks bad about TJ Recupero, I will stick up for him. He is a class act man. The only thing he wants now is the school and to take care of his girlfriend and the town manager. Why? I don't know. I think he's lost track of the town of Stoughton. But you know what? The school is a good thing, and I'm not saying it's not. It's a great thing, and I support him. I appreciate all the work he's done. But there's certain members on that board that were handpicked by the town manager that I do not trust. I will not say their names, but I know who they are.
On what board?
On the school building committee.
Okay.
They're picked by the
Isn't TJ the chairman?
She's the chairman, and like I says, I trust TJ. But TJ the other day came to me and I says, that's when I said I'd kill it. TJ had an argument. He's like, you don't want the school. It's just not that I don't want the school, TJ. I have questions. And you just say, people just say, vote for it, vote for it. I understand we gotta vote for it, because if not, it's gonna ruin the town. This new school will bring residents in. It's gonna teach our kids the 21st century. They're gonna have arts, theater, technology. This school is the best thing for this town that's gonna happen. It's about time, finally, we're gonna move this town forward, finally.
Right.
But
Okay.
it has to pass. But he's lost track. He says a lot of good things are coming to town. What's going good in town, TJ? What is going good? You never answer my question. Then they say about the school, like I says, we need the school, but what else? Then he says, we don't need this, we don't need this. We're gonna get a public safety building. We're gonna get a recreation building. We gotta do it slowly. I don't wanna spend $30 million for a public safety building. I can spend $8 million, maybe 9, no more than that, put space buildings up. Like this building here is a space building. You can make offices.
Right.
You need garages to park trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So you put a garage to park trucks, and you can put bathrooms and bedrooms in these space buildings, 2 or 3 floors. And you can the police station. You can move it on Washington Street near the old WT Tool North. Even by the WT Tool North building, and make a huge police station. Park all the cars inside. If it snows and everything else, the police officers can hide their cars inside. So people drive by, they don't know whose car's whose plate belongs to who. It's no one's business. Hide the vehicles inside. You know, there's a lot of things you can do for less money. And like I says, I don't know what they're thinking.
When you mentioned parking trucks in the garage, is that for Public Works?
Public Works, the fire department, they want a new public safety building.
Because Public Works is pretty well set up, aren't
No,
they?
Public Works is, but the Armory, they want to turn it into a recreation center.
Okay.
Why don't we put a small space building up there with an engine or a ladder, however, I guess says, with an ambulance. Build something next to the old Lehan Field, the baseball fields, and now with Stoyak. We own that land. Put the football field behind the North School or the South School or one of these schools, but that's a central location. Or if not, put the substation at the Armory, knock down the fire station, or rehab it completely, but it's gonna be more to rehab. It's cheaper to knock it down, put a space building up, run another ambulance under there, and then we have Central Street. We'll have 3 fire departments, or 3 street stations.
Strategically located.
Located, yeah. And save, it's cheap money. Mm-hmm. A space building. We do not need a Taj Mahal. So why are you wasting your money foolishly there? These are the questions like I have.
Let me ask you a question. You talk about the Board of Selectmen. Can you, would you mind going down the list and telling me your opinion of each member? Is that a good question for you? I mean, as far as their, not as far as their job they're doing, but as far as their opinion of the town manager. I mean, if there were a vote taken today, what would it be? 4-1? Would it be 3-2?
The only thing I can say is I made a motion, and I don't know if you were there or watched it on TV. I made a motion to send the town manager on his way, and I was the only member of the Board of Selectmen that made that motion.
In order for that to happen, though, you'd need 4 votes.
We need a 4-1 vote. Yes, we do.
But at that point, from what I heard, there were 3 votes.
There could be. I can't talk for my colleagues what their decisions are.
Are they happy with him?
You tell me.
I don't know. I'm not sitting there. You
like
are.
I says, I don't want to talk for my colleagues. The people watch the meetings. They can see who's who and who's what. The people know what's going on. Like I says, TJ ran unopposed 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows the Recupero name and everything else. Father's a great dentist. His brother's a great dentist. Everybody knows the Recupero name.
It's not happening this year.
I don't know if he's not. Yeah, he's not happening this year. He's not running unopposed. But like I says, did he lose his foresight? Me personally, if Mr. Recupero or Miss Walsh get in, they both support the town manager. My opinion, if this town manager stays, it's not swim or sink or swim. It's start swimming or we're going to drown. There's no turning back.
Because of him?
I think he's one of the major problems. Yes, he is.
But he's supposed to respond to the majority of the Board of Selectmen.
He does not. We've had some
well,
issues.
that's a problem.
That is a problem. But when you have a few members of the Board of Selectmen backing him up and know certain laws better than other people, then it works. Like I says, as a person, Mr. Recupero, I think he's a class act. I would not anybody talk bad about him. A lot of people got mad because he's dating the Selectman Secretary. He gets more information than probably we do. Allegedly, I can't say but allegedly gets more information. I know he's voted twice to give her 2 raises, like I said, for $19,000.
Yeah, but he's only one member.
But he's only one member. But when that vote was taken, there was snowstorms. So for those times both votes were taken, I was not there for these meetings.
But you do have the power to bring it back up for a reconsideration.
You know what? It's a shame. And there's certain people, I don't want to cause problems with TJ. Like I said, I like TJ. I consider him a friend. So I don't want any problems.
When these raises were granted, were they above the average that was given to everybody else?
Oh, absolutely. There's certain people that got big percentages. There's certain people at the town hall. Like I says, we have titles. We're the member of the Board of Selectmen. You're on that seat. We hold the highest. We're the highest executive authorities in town.
That's correct.
We have captains, chiefs, deputy chiefs, lieutenants, sergeants, and so on and so on. People today do not respect a title of the chiefs, of the selectmen. There's certain members of the Board of Selectmen that I've gone to the town hall and asked for stuff, and they've told me straight out, you're a nobody. You're just a selectman. We don't work for you.
I don't like hearing that.
That is the truth, and that's what the people don't like to hear. The shadow government don't want to hear that. But I'm telling the residents, they tell us that. So if they're telling us that, how do you think our residents are treated?
There's no respect for your position.
There's no respect for the position, no even our residents. I had got an email, received an email, probably a couple months ago. The person was trying to reach a certain member, a department head. Got to run around 4 or 5 different people. It took about a week. Finally, this department head called this person back. And the department head was not even friendly to our resident. And this resident owns a business in town and a taxpayer in town. So they pay double the taxes. So when you have somebody who's that type of stamina, has that, I mean, they're paying you big money. Like I said, you're paying big money. If they're treating the selectmen like this, now they're treating my residents like this, and like I said, these 2 people that are coming in who support the town manager, I think he's the best thing since sliced bread, they're allowing this. So I'm asking the people now, you have to wake up and smell the coffee. Because if you don't, we're going to drown. Miss Walsh, all due respect, I love Miss Walsh. Like I said, she was my 5th grade teacher. And now I sat on the board with her. Like I said, we all have different political views. But she claims, oh, I don't have cable, I don't have this, she chooses to live like this. She has high tension lines that run through her property. And I don't know if it's true, I've heard, and like I said, so it's allegedly, she gets paid for those high tension wires. They say those high tension wires pay her taxes. Allegedly, again, I don't know. She has farmland. She plants corn and this and that. It's a little bit of land, maybe an acre she does. I don't know. I'm not a farmer. So she pays taxes on farmland. So she pays less taxes. There's businesses that park on her property. So are they there for free, or is she making money on that? You know? So she's saying she doesn't have money. She takes a taxi ride between 2 to 12 times a day. Let me tell you something. To drive a taxi 8 to 12 times a day, or 2 to 12 times a day, you're going to have some money. Well, I don't have the, well, I don't. You choose to live like this. If you want a car, you choose to have a car. If you want a truck, you choose the truck. You want to live in a blue house, you paint your house blue. These are choices people make.
Correct.
But she complains, oh, I don't want a school, I don't want this. She worked the public sector for years. Brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews now.
Right.
You know, she retired early. Why did she retire early? Was it her health? Was it because she couldn't pass the new teacher's certification? I don't know. No, it's none of my business. Like a lot of people say, it's your business. It's not my business. We get, like it says, I was here a few weeks ago with Mr. Pickett. Mr. Stagnone read an email that I guess it came from the town manager, came from town lawyers, went to the department heads. He said straight out, no one has seen this letter yet. It's coming out in a couple days, but let me read it to you. So as a sitting member of the Board of Selectmen, he gets stuff before me. So like I said, special people, shadow government. The town manager, and Mr. Stagnone was there, was on, like it says, he was there to hire the town manager. He saw the town manager's dirty laundry. He saw his baggage, you want to call it that way. But he still hired him. Why do we pay to get rid of our trash. Why do we bring trash in? If you have the residents, the employees, saying they don't believe in this town manager, people are fearing their job. They're afraid to talk. They are afraid to talk.
Understandable.
They're terrified. And yet, we are supposed to be the leaders, and we are allowing this?
Something needs to be fixed.
So, yeah, what do you tell me?
You got an election coming up. There are 3 candidates, 2 that are on the ballot and 1 that's a write-in candidate. What's your recommendation?
My recommendation?
Yeah.
I'm writing in Mr. Peter Brown. And I asked the people of Stoughton to do the same thing. Write Peter Brown. Peterbrown.
Can you
Peter
explain how that works?
How that works, I guess I haven't seen the ballot, but it'll either be Cynthia Walsh or TJ Recupero, and then it'll be a write-in candidate. It'll say space other. You can either write his name in. I know there's a sticker campaign going on. He's having a fundraiser this Saturday at the Knights of Columbus on Seaver Street from 8 to 12. I think after that he'll be in the center. All next week he'll be in the center. And my understanding, I guess there's going to be people at the polls saying, get your stickers here. The people need a vote for Peter Brown. We need change.
If they write it in, do they also have to write in the address?
That I do not know. I have to check with ethics in the State House. I do not know. I don't know how that goes. I don't, like it says, I don't get involved because they'll tell me it's an ethics violation. And speaking like that, again, I'll give you a good example. When I first got on, they were talking about South Coast Rail coming in. And I wanted the rail depressed. I was not fighting the train to come in. I wanted it depressed. The lawyers came and everything else, and they're like, what don't you want? I'm like, this town's a very busy town, and waiting for a train to sit there 2 or 3 minutes is a matter of someone's life, or a school bus, and the kids at Cushion Street and all that, and School Street crossing there. Depress the rails so the kids don't get hurt, so traffic can flow smoothly. Certain members of the board, or I should say, they shouldn't remember the board, I can't prove it. The shadow government, I'm going to call them, they know that I work for the state, and the MBTA is under the Mass DOT umbrella now. I got a phone call a couple days later from an attorney from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts saying if this was David Sousa, yes, and this and that. You voted on the rail system. You're in fault for jeopardy for, you can't do that. It's your ethics violation. I said, why is it an ethics violation? Well, that's what I said. Why is it an ethics violation? Because the MBTA is part of MassDOT. I said, I understand it's part of MassDOT, but the MBTA.
But you don't work for them.
I do work for MassDOT because we're all under one umbrella now, which I didn't know that. And I says, I'm sorry if I did that. I did not know. I says, I work out of District 6, which is the tunnels in Boston, and Stoughton is District 5. The MBTA, even though it's part of the Mass DOT umbrella, it's rail. But I've taken OSHA classes so we could work together if there's an emergency. That we can work for major emergency, cleanup, or fatal accident. They can pull us for resources to go in there. So I said, okay, I am sorry. If I got to get a fine, I get a fine. I didn't know I was doing something bad. But I told them, they're like, you are against the rail system. I said, no, I'm not against the rail system. I am against not depressing the rails. I want to depress the rails. I'm not saying...
This is their lawyer?
That was the Commonwealth of Massachusetts lawyer.
From the Ethics Commission?
I don't know if it's ethics or from Massachusetts. I didn't ask. I just didn't want to get upset. They understood. They just said, from now on, you just cannot vote again. Even though I says, you're entitled to your opinion. You can have your opinion, but you can't vote. I said, okay, thank you very much. I'm so sorry. They says, no, it was a misunderstanding. You didn't. I says, we can pull the records. I says, Smack films it. Like, no, it's okay. We believe you then. I'm like, okay, so that was good. So now.
Is the rail happening? Is it going to happen?
I don't know. People say yes, people say no. They say Governor Baker has turned it down. Like I says, I don't know. But if Mr. Recupero, like I says, he voted for his girlfriend, $19,000 raise.
Yeah.
Well, is it an ethics violation? I don't know. It's his girlfriend, though, but she's gotten $19,000 raises. The people don't know that. So why are you giving...
They're going to learn it now.
Well, they're going to learn it now, but it's, like I says, you want to stick up for your girlfriend? I respect him for that. Like I says, I stick up for my wife and my kids. I respect Mr. Recupero, like I said, 100%. And if he's sticking up for his girlfriend, because the town manager caters to her, I respect him for that, because he's sticking up for his girlfriend. Like any man would stick up for their wife, or boyfriend or girlfriend, or girlfriend and girlfriend. You're sticking up for what you believe in, and all the powers to them.
A couple of quick questions, because we don't have a whole lot of time, and I thought we would just take a half an hour for this discussion, but I listened to you and I was very wrong. There's been some high-level retirements in the town. Public Works Superintendent, Fire Chief, Police Chief, which we'll get into a little more in detail in a few minutes.
Board of Health.
No
one knows about. And
what's going on? I mean, these are all people that have worked at the job and doing a good job, and all of a sudden they're gone?
Leadership. Like I said.
What leadership?
Town manager. In the human resource director.
Okay, so if you have a problem with the town manager and the human resources director making things difficult for the various department heads, why doesn't the Board of Selectmen do something about it? I mean, are they plants? Are they insignificant? I mean, I don't understand it. I sat on the board for 8 years. It was quite a while ago. But if we had a problem, we took care of it. And I'm not hearing that anything.
Like I says, I've made motions, and I've been called out of order and everything else. You have to talk to the other members of the Board of Selectmen on that. Yeah. Everybody in the town knows where I stand.
I'd love to get them all in here and chat about that, but it'd be a violation of the open meeting law.
Bring them one at a time or two at a time. You can bring two at a time.
We started with you.
Like I says, they don't like me.
Well, that's too bad.
Like
maybe it's because you're doing your job.
Well, that's what it is. If I don't know the answer, I try to get the answer.
Okay.
And like I says, and I come on Dave's show, and Paul is there. Like they said, TJ says, you want to kill the school. It's not that I want to kill the school. I have questions. The school, we need the school. But his focus right now, he even says, I don't care if I make it as a member of the Board of Selectmen. I want to stay on this building school committee. And then he tells me, he says, Spanky, before the meeting, he says, the building school committee, or the Mass Building Association, the school building board who's overseeing this project, is looking at us. And I said, what do you mean they're looking at us? He goes, they're looking at you because, the MSBA, they're looking at you because you are the only selectmen that have young children in the school system, and you're against the school system.
That must be a conflict of interest.
Well, I don't know if it's a conflict of interest, but I says, I know I'm the only one that has children in the school, and no one else has children in the school but me, and everybody's old enough they don't have kids. So my kids are going to make, my daughter might make the last year, and my son might make the last 2 years. But it's up to people to pass.
So?
But he says, Mr. Recupero says, they're looking at me, and it don't look good for the town. I says, you're right, you might be right. But I started thinking, we're supposed to have a sitting member of the Finance Committee on the MSBA board. We do not have one.
Why?
Ask the town manager. The board before me, and they don't want to vote it back out, to give the power back to the Board of Selectmen. So
how much more time does the town manager have in his contract?
July 2017. But I understand there's certain members that want to renew that. I will not renew. Like I said, I want to pay him off now and just send him on his way. But this gets better. So he says they're looking at me because I'm the only one with school children in the school system. So the MSBA is looking at me personally. No, they're not looking at me. If they're looking at things, look at how come we don't have a sitting member of the Finance Committee, which the law says on the MSBA, you have to have a current member on the Finance Committee sitting on that board. They do not.
Have you brought it up in a meeting?
I brought it up to TJ personally because, like I says, I don't
No,
want
at an open meeting.
I have not yet because I don't want to cause. Because you know why? As the special people of the shadow government, I'm causing problems.
I don't care, but if it's supposed to be, then
but,
you
and
should
then
bring
another
it up.
perfect thing. We lost a police chief. We lost a fire chief. We lost a superintendent of public works. We lost a board of health. Don't you think the MSBA is watching what this town is going to?
Sure.
We just had a shooting the other day right up here at
Courtyard.
the courtyard.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with
No,
us.
I know, but we don't have a police chief. We don't have a deputy chief. We don't have none of this stuff. You don't think the MSBA is looking at it? They're only looking at me because I said no to the school? The school is great, but we're asking the people to trust in us, and they believe in us. Not just a vote. We want a public safety building. We want this. Listen, we do need a school. What's the final cost? What's the final numbers? What happens if something breaks? Who do we go after? What if they put the new turf field and it comes out wrong? Who do we go after? You've been around much longer than me, Roy. Fire station, told not to be built on a wetlands.
Correct.
They still built it.
Hazardous.
Hazardous waste.
Not wet, hazardous.
Oh, hazardous. It still built it there.
Yeah.
Who got kickbacks? I want to know who got money for that. Somebody got paid off. I'm telling you, someone got paid off. Police station, another thing. Build it in this box. It was not going to go anywhere else. Somebody had it. And then they put AC units for a house instead of a commercial building.
Oh.
Who got kickbacks and who got paid off? This is what, now I see what the corruption is and egos and titles. And, you know, certain people want to walk around that we are the selectmen, we are better than you. No, we're not better than nobody. And that's what somebody said to me, like I said yesterday. You're the selectman. I am a selectman, and I'm honored for that title. And to this day, still to this day, I'm grateful for the people who voted me in. A lot of them voted me in because they knew I did parades and my fairs and everything else, but a lot of people didn't know who I was. People that don't even know what I looked like. They knew the name, David Spanky Sousa. That's all they knew. Now everywhere I go, they know the face. That's the problem. They know who I am now. And I wish
they enjoyed the entertainment in the square during the campaign.
But that's who I am, Roy. You know, that's just who I am.
Very
people,
different.
People are like, you know, what are you doing? You're like, you're making a fool of yourself. It's not making a fool of yourself. This is who I am.
No, it's good.
You know, I had people that were running against us in that campaign standing next to me with a sign, and I had coffee and donuts. I'm like, you know, have a coffee and donuts. It's cold out. And the person says, I'm not voting for you. I said, I can see you're not voting for me. You have another person's sign in your hand. I'm not worried about that. But it's cold out. Get yourself warm. And they're like, don't you understand? I said, listen, I don't care. Everybody's entitled to vote who you want to vote for, and I don't care. I'm just being a human being. My parents told me to become a human being. Respect people. It's cold. Have a cup of coffee. Have a donut. I says, we're going to be here for the next 3 weeks together, 4 weeks together. You're going to get sick of me, or I'm going to get sick of you, but we can at least be human to each other.
And you were, and you won.
And I won, but at the end, the person even says, I was told not to vote you in, but you're going to get one of my votes because you're a Class Act guy.
Nice to hear.
I'm like, it is nice to hear. And, you know, and people say, you know.
And you haven't proved them wrong. You have not proved them wrong.
Well, I don't know that yet, if not. If you say that, thank you.
I believe you're doing a good job.
Oh, I appreciate that. Like I said.
And I believe also that we have to take a short break.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll have some announcements that
For you, buddy, then? No problems.
including our friend at Maxie's.
Maxie's, huh?
That's no, it's 3 M's in Maxie's. Maxie's.
Did you save me any food, though? Or did you eat it all?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hi, it's Gary LaPierre, and the crew wants to thank Maxie's Delicatessen. That's at 117 Sharon Street in Stoughton. They're 781-341-1662. American Cancer Society, yes, they're looking for volunteers. Drive cancer patients to and from their treatments. 1-800-ACS-6662. Or just go to www.cancer.org. Ilsa Mark's Food Pantry in St. Anthony's Free Market, 2 Park Avenue in Stoughton. For more information, call Christine Gallagher. That's at 781-341-0611 or 781-341-0549. Meals on Wheels. Just ask for Jessica. You'll find her at 781-344-8882, extension 2. Stoughton Penny Saver. Our business is advertising your business, they tell us. 27 Rose Glen Street, Stoughton, 781-344-4833. Community Forum showtimes in Stoughton. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m., Monday at 8 p.m., Tuesday at 5 p.m. It's on Comcast Channel 9 and Verizon Channel 28. All comments and suggestions welcome. Contact us at communityforum1@yahoo.com. Community Forum showtimes in Easton. Mondays at 9 p.m., Tuesday at 8 a.m., Wednesdays 3 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. And that too, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 22. Samaritans, they're at 41 West Street on the 4th floor in Boston, 02111. Their phone number is 617-536-2460. 24-hour helplines for Samaritans, and the number is 877-870-HOPE. That's 877-870-4673. Samaritans, you can find them at 800-252-TEEN. That's 252-8336. Or find them online at SamaritansHope.org.
Well, thank you, Gary. It's a pleasure to hear from you again. We just have a couple more announcements to read to you. The Stoughton annual election, in which you'll be electing a new selectman and I believe 2 new members of the school committee, will be held on Tuesday, April 5th. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I don't think that ESPN or any of those guys will be here covering it. It's probably insignificant in their minds. And on that particular evening of April 5th, there'll be live election results. Maybe that's better than CNN. Starting at 8:30 p.m. On Comcast Channel 9 and Verizon Channel 28. And the best of my information is that Joe Feaster will be hosting that along with Jeff Pickett. Exciting couple of guys that did a great job last year. Coming soon, April 21st is a tentative date right now that we're going to have Community Forum's version of the Kids Cancer Buzz-Off. Spanky's going to come and have his head shaved that particular day. It's on Thursday, April 21st.
I have no hair left.
Well, whatever you have left, we'll buzz off for charity. It'll be here in the studio. We're just going to make some plans next week and then we'll announce it. Monday Night Bingo, a fantastic happening at the Ahava Torah Congregation, 1179 Central Street in Stoughton. Doors open at 4:30 p.m. Games start at 6:30 p.m. The crowds are starting to build, and we'd suggest that you come and have a good time and maybe win some money. David Spanky Sousa, Town Selectman, spankyyabadoo at gmail.com. I love it. The office of the Selectman is 781-341-1300, extension 9212. I believe the cell phone is Spanky's cell phone.
Yes, it is.
781-760-4650. And he will answer the phone and he'll hopefully be able to take care of whatever your concerns might be. The Town Hall, the Selectman's office is on the 3rd floor in the Great Hall, 10 Pearl Street, Stoughton, Mass. 02072, and you can check the website out and then go from there to wherever you want to find out information, www.stoughton.org. And I think that's it for the announcements. We saved the last few minutes for a topic that I'm really interested in, the Chief of Police. His contract runs out April 29th.
Yes, sir.
Is he gone? Is he coming back? What's going on?
Well, as for me, my opinion, and only my opinion, as of right now, he's still our police chief until April 29th.
Correct.
If we get a new person in for Board of Selectmen, maybe he'll be my second vote, and maybe the other members of the board will come around and see maybe it's time to get rid of the town manager. If we get rid of the town manager and the Human Resource Department, I think we might have a chance to bring our chief back. We hired this man to bring this town up. We have an accredited department now. He was
You're talking the chief.
the chief. He made an accredited department. Our police department now is impeccable. He's behind the scenes still. He calls in every day. But we have Lieutenant Donna McNamara as acting chief. We have Lieutenant Danny McGowan as deputy chief. As of right now, they're still going to do a job. Are we going to hire these people permanently? I don't know yet. We could probably, I imagine people have to have resumes. I'm definitely not going to go out-house. In my opinion, I will not search for another police chief. I want to keep it in-house because, like I says, he's taken this department to beyond, to the moon and back.
I could never understand how you could go out of town for a leadership position in a department, like the fire department, for example. I know the person they hired, from what I hear, is very well qualified. But what's wrong with working your way up to the top? Isn't that discouraging to the present force?
Well, he didn't even As far as my understanding, the town manager didn't even give any of the members of our own police department an interview. I'm sorry, fire department, an interview. This is what I'm talking about. This leadership has to go. If the people want our chief back, we need to vote in, write in. You have to write in Peter Brown. Hopefully he can be my second vote, and maybe the other members of the board will, as you said. People have seen it. There's 2 members of the board, and I don't have to say their names. Rumors have it allegedly there's personal agendas against the chief and vice versa. Rumors, allegedly, like I said.
Okay, so if you have the, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we're running out of time. If you have if Peter Brown gets in,
Yep.
you're saying you have the second vote. You still need one more. Is there
No,
one
we
more?
actually need 2 more.
No, that's 2 more to fire. But if you have a third vote, that's a majority of the board that can direct the town manager to act in the way that they want it to run.
We have done that already. He does not listen to us.
Well, he has to.
I'm telling you.
Then you take then as far as I'm concerned, again, I'm on the outside looking in. There are things that you can do
Yeah,
without
we can write
him.
them up, but they won't write them up. I don't know what's wrong with the board.
Well, if you have the 3 members can decrease his pay, put him on paid administrative leave, unpaid
only thing
administrative leave.
Being there 2 years, and I'm going to say it right now. The town manager and the human resource need to have to exit the town. They are a cancer for this town.
Well, that's pretty
I'm telling
strong.
you, being up there, like I said, if I knew what I knew today, and all this stuff going on, and ethics, and people don't like me because I'm speaking my mind, and the shadow government doesn't like me, I would have never done this. I didn't know I was going to be put on a pedestal. I didn't know I was going to be constantly. And I says, you know what? But I took that position, and I will fulfill it till the next year.
No regrets.
No regrets. I said, I love this town. I love the people in this town. And the shadow government, I even helped them out. You know what I mean? But if you think I'm afraid,
They love you too, David.
no, they don't love me. But
No.
I'm okay with that. But you got to vote. We need to write in Peter Brown, and we need change. I'm asking the people of the town of Stoughton, write in Peter Brown. It's time to take our town back once and for all. Because if we don't, we're in trouble. Roy, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure to have you on board. And folks, if you have opposing views, let me know. You can come on and express those opinions also. Roy Cohen here. Thank you very much for watching the show, and look forward to the next time.